Hi, I'm Lisa Lauxman. I'm the Director for the Division of Youth and 4-H National Headquarters, the United States Department of Agriculture's National Institute of Food and Agriculture. It's my pleasure to be able to address you. I hate to do this via taped message, but I so far haven't learned how to clone myself. But I would like to take this opportunity to be part of the questions that were addressed to the panel. Is it feasible for secondary agricultural education programs to provide 90 hours of sufficient safety training and practical knowledge prior to youth seeking agricultural employment? How do secondary educators get access to safety and health resources? How does extension at the county level support agricultural safety and health? And that's the question that I'll be addressing with you all. But first of all, let's take a little history trip with me. This is the 100th anniversary of the Smith-Lever Act of 1914 that established the Cooperative Extension Service. At that time, some states hired agricultural and home demonstration agents to teach new agriculture and home arts methods to their citizens. That was taking the research to the people. Families were reluctant to adopt new practices on the farm and in the home. They didn't want to risk their income or health on new technologies. Youth, however, were anxious to try new things. And the 4-H program started in 1902 as a way to teach new farm and home innovations to citizens through the youth. Many 4-H club programs started as corn clubs and tomato canning clubs. Today, here's what 4-H looks like today. It is a system with around 6 million youth who participate in cooperative extension programs and 500,000 adults who are engaged as volunteers. The program includes funding at the federal, state, and local level, as well as private through our nonprofit national partner, 4-H Council, state 4-H foundations, and others that also support the 4-H program. You can find the program in every state, county, U.S. territory, and military installation worldwide. Land-grant universities and colleges offer the programming through staffing plans that will include state 4-H program leaders, 4-H educators, and 4-H volunteers. The delivery method can be found in clubs, after-school programs, camps, and in special interest. The 4-H program has an educational approach that is based on non-formal, where both youth and adults learn by doing. The needs for the learning is identified at the local level, and as indicated, the extension professional then has volunteers who lead many of the program activities. That can be at the club level or at the county level, and sometimes at the regional and state level by volunteers. Learning is experiential. It's that learn by doing, the hands-on part of it, where we follow a process of do, share, apply, and generalize. Learning is intentionally framed with the intent to build competency for the individual to demonstrate knowledge, skills, and behavioral change, and is that piece of the puzzle where it is youth and adults who learn together to make that sustainable change happen in their local communities. So looking at that, the extension professional, the question, how does extension at the county level support agricultural safety and health? There's been a lot of change since 1902. So these 3 C's, when I looked at this question, I looked at competency, capacity, and collaboration. So looking at the extension professional, the states determine the hiring requirements. That includes the disciplines for which they are hired. There is no one discipline across the nation that represents a 4-H agent. The National Association of Extension 4-H agents identified competencies that they call the PRKC for staff to provide professional development. And in the area of youth development, that includes such things as the theories and knowledge behind youth development, which is an evolving field. It is a discipline that is growing from, but based upon ages and stages of youth, typically defined as 10 to 24 years of age. It is practice versus content, where we're looking at, besides developing a field of study for youth development, there's also the piece for which there is the practice of youth development, and program quality and accountability is evolving too, with sets of common measures for the 4-H program. So you'll find a diversity of disciplines, and that 4-H program staff may represent that, inclusive of myself. Just to give you an idea, I have a Bachelor's of Science in Home Economics Extension, a Master's of Business Administration, an MA, and a PhD in educational psychology with a minor in program evaluation research methodology, all based upon what I conceived and saw as the disciplines that I needed to perform my job. So when I worked as a county extension 4-H agent, with my home economics degree in hand, I collaborated with both the vocational agricultural teachers, the county extension ag agent, with the local high schools, teachers, the farmers, and farm implement businesses to provide a hazardous occupation training. So what I provided was the skill sets and the competency of youth development, while they provided the content and disciplines. Capacity is one of the critical things being looked at too. As we've evolved as a cooperative extension system across the country, there have been reductions in staff at all levels and inclusive of expertise. And so that has intensified the opportunity and probably the challenges of filling positions that would be able to provide agricultural safety. There's less available resources as well. And in local communities, it depends upon that collaboration. So whoever you have available for you at the resource and expertise level is dependent upon the context in which you live. Meaning if you have the volunteers businesses locally, that will help facilitate agricultural safety. Again, though, we look at this as an opportunity to think about collaboration. So as we look to, can cooperative extension provide this? It will depend upon the competency, capacity, and collaboration at that local community level. Yet I would want us to not end on just this note. I'd want to think creatively about how youth, as trainers working with adults, maintaining the history of the 4-H program, where youth were seen as those who could provide the change agent in their local communities, to be one of the opportunities to think about how agricultural safety, competency, and expertise can be further expanded. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to be a part of this panel. Though I cannot be there in person, and I regret that, I hope that if you have any questions, you will continue to dialogue with me. And here is my email address, llauxman@nifa.usda.gov. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share.